95% of the Amazon has simply not been investigated at all. That if we were to really investigate the whole of the Amazon from this point of view, we would have to revolutionize our whole view of human history.
The vast and enigmatic Amazon rainforest has long been a treasure trove of undiscovered secrets, its verdant depths concealing the remains of ancient civilizations that once thrived within its borders. In recent years, groundbreaking technological advancements have illuminated a new chapter in our understanding of these mysterious societies, revealing an astonishing network of rediscovered lost cities dating back to 500 BC, predating any other known complex Amazonian society by over a millennium. This fascinating and complex chapter in human history is now within our grasp as the latest LIDAR technology continues to unearth the secrets of these forgotten realms, providing a unique opportunity to unravel the enigma that surrounds early Amazonian societies and delve into their cultural heritage and architectural marvels. Join us as we dig deep into the rediscovered lost cities of the Amazon and how this newfound knowledge is shedding light on our ancestors' ingenuity, resilience, and adaptability in the face of a formidable natural environment. First of all, to give some basic figures. The Amazon is the world's largest tropical rainforest, covering over 5.5 million square kilometers. It's so big that the UK and Ireland would fit into it 17 times. Spread across 9 countries, the Amazon is found in South America, primarily in Brazil, but also extending into Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. It's home to an estimated 10% of the world's biodiversity and is a crucial part of the planet's ecosystem, as it absorbs carbon dioxide and produces oxygen, thus playing an important role in mitigating climate change. Despite its vastness and seemingly inhospitable conditions for human habitation, it has been home to diverse communities of people since ancient times. Around 400–500 indigenous Amerindian tribes call the Amazon rainforest home. It's believed that about 50 of these tribes have never had contact with the outside world. These tribes have lived in the forest for centuries and have a deep understanding of the land and its resources. Over many decades, there has been a consensus among archaeologists that Amazon rainforest is inhabitable for humans, and there is no possibility of the existence of a large-scale civilization. This was because Amazon was dense and isolated from other parts of the world, and major of its part had soil that was too infertile to sustain agricultural societies. As it is hard for hunter-gatherer societies to have an enormous population because they lack resources. After a time, it became evident when archaeologists were unable to find any tangible proof after centuries of hardship. But everything changed when crony capitalism entered Latin America. Long-hidden masterpieces of civilizations came out of presumable graves of Amazon. In the last 2 decades, soybean cultivation has increased by over 20% due to the economics. Soy consumption is increasing at levels unexpected, and American farmers are switching to corn over soy due to subsidies provided by the government. Soy farming is considered to be a prime reason for large-scale deforestation happening in the Amazon rainforest. As soon as corporates started cultivating more and more, hidden monumental structures in the dense forest got shown up. Trees were cut down, and it became easy for researchers to click bird-eye pictures with advanced technological gadgets. The number of large ditches and mounds seen increased from about single digits to hundreds of them. Some stone structures found are supposed to date back to as old as 1000 BC. In a podcast with Joe Rogan, Graham Hancock, a British historian, claimed that there were numerous cities alike London in size scattered all over Amazonian landscape. The total number of people living in the Amazonian periphery could amount to as much as 20 million. There is a special ditch of a shaped circle inside square, which was earlier supposed to be a concept created by the Greeks, but it turns out that these ditches predate the Greek creation timestamp. Even after all of this, there was still a loophole to all of these claims. If there was no fertile land in the Amazon, then how survival of such a large civilization is possible. In fact, this is the most interesting finding to date by the researchers. Do you know how they survived? It sounds like a fantasy story, but they literally invented soil called terra preta. Terra preta, or Amazonian dark earth soil, is a type of soil found in the Amazon rainforest that is believed to have been created by ancient indigenous people. It is rich in nutrients and is highly fertile, making it ideal for agriculture. It can turn barren soil fertile. The presence of terra preta in the Amazon rainforest does suggest that there may have been human habitation and agriculture in the region in the past. The extension of this hypothesis is more shocking because it alters the Amazonian identity that we have in our minds. Since childhood, we have been listening. It is the biggest natural gift, providing us with 20% of the world's total oxygen. New findings suggest that Amazon is not natural, but is a man-made garden. This is because almost 90% of the plantation is food-based, that includes Brazilian nut trees and etc. Amazon has almost 60,000 plant species, but only a few of them covers a major part of the total tree plantation. In past, racist European thinkers claimed that Amazonian people were too unsophisticated to build large civilizations. But this recent evidence is yelling out their greatness. Francisco Orellana was a Spanish explorer who successfully completed an improbable voyage of the Amazon forest from top to bottom. He first came across the Amazon while on an expedition to find the legendary city of El Dorado. In 1541, Orellana led an expedition down the length of the Amazon River, becoming the first European to navigate the river from its source to the Atlantic Ocean. Orellana also described the lush vegetation and abundant wildlife of the rainforest, which later became of interest to Europeans looking to exploit the region's natural resources. His findings included the discovery of the Amazon River's legendary female warriors, the Amazons or Icamiabas, which gave the river its name. And in a shocking revelation, Orellana claimed to have seen an astounding population, majestic culture, and fabulous structures all through the jungles. After a century, another group of European explorers again went into the midst of the forest to reconfirm Orellana's claim, but they show nothing but kilometers of trees and bushes. As they didn't find anything, they asserted that it never existed. But in fact, the real reason why they didn't find anyone is because up to 90% of the Amazonian population died in the years following the European invasion. No medieval force, no matter how bloodthirsty, could have achieved such enormous levels of genocide. Instead, Europeans were aided by a deadly secret weapon they weren't even aware they were carrying: smallpox. As a result, the Amazon remained largely undiscovered until recent years, as modern technology has advanced enough to penetrate the dense canopy of the rainforest and reveal the hidden secrets beneath. This groundbreaking work began in earnest in 2015, when the Ecuadorian government funded a comprehensive LIDAR survey, a remote sensing technology that uses laser light to measure distances to Earth's surface from aircraft or satellites. This high-resolution imagery provided an unprecedented view of the Amazon rainforest, revealing thousands of previously unknown archaeological sites scattered across the vast expanse of the jungle. According to Stephen Rostain, one of the leading researchers in this area, the cultural center being uncovered had perfectly straight roads, which would have required a specialized and stratified society, indicating that the success of local agriculture allowed for different classes in the society, such as engineers and planners. This level of development required, ironically, massive deforestation for such an ancient time to allow for lucrative crops. However, these ancient cultures found much more symbiotic ways of surviving in their environment, building sophisticated canals to best use water flowing through the land from seasonal rains. One such area of discovery was the Upano Valley, a 300-square-kilometer region in eastern Ecuador that is now recognized as a hotbed of ancient Amazonian civilization. Here, Researchers uncovered over 15 distinct settlements dating back to around 500 BC, making them some of the earliest known complex societies within the Amazon basin. These settlements were linked by an extensive network of roads and canals, suggesting a highly organized society that thrived within this lush environment. The inhabitants of these ancient cities cultivated crops like corn, manioc, and sweet potato in carefully terraced agricultural fields, demonstrating their keen understanding of the delicate balance required to survive in such a challenging landscape. They also built impressive structures out of earth and stone, constructing large platforms upon which residential and ceremonial buildings were constructed. These platforms were typically arranged in groups of 3 to 6, suggesting that they may have served both practical and symbolic purposes within these communities. Intriguingly, the timeline of inhabitation in the Upano Valley indicates that these societies flourished for centuries before abruptly disappearing between 300 AD and 600 AD. Although the exact reasons behind this decline remain uncertain, some theories suggest that eruptions from the nearby Sangai volcano may have played a role. As researchers continue to uncover more secrets within the Amazon rainforest, we are beginning to piece together a rich tapestry of human history that stretches back millennia. And in a recent discovery, scientists using advanced technology like LIDAR have uncovered evidence of an ancient civilization that thrived atop a mountain in the Amazon. This civilization, which existed from around AD 500 to 1400, demonstrates a level of urban planning and architectural sophistication previously unknown in this region. This society constructed monumental structures, including pyramids and extensive road networks, showcasing their engineering skills and social organization. The findings in the Amazon challenge the earlier notion that the region could only support small, nomadic groups. The discovery of the Kasarabe civilization, with its intricate urban centers, ceremonial structures, and advanced agricultural systems, suggests that the Amazon was once home to complex societies. This civilization's ability to adapt and thrive in the Amazon jungle highlights the ingenuity of ancient peoples and their capacity to shape their environment. The architectural and agricultural practices of the Kasarabe provide insight into their daily lives and their cultural and spiritual beliefs. The scale of their constructions and the planning involved suggest a highly organized society with a deep understanding of engineering and environmental management. The Kasarabe civilization, as it is now known, utilized mud brick to create ceremonial structures, pyramids, and terraces that covered areas as vast as 30 soccer fields. These constructions also served as the backbone of their societal and religious practices. The interconnected roads, canals, and causeways discovered indicate a high level of sophistication in their approach to transportation and water management. This network facilitated the movement of goods and people within the civilization, playing a crucial role in their agricultural practices. The presence of a complex system of reservoirs and lakes for irrigation suggests that the Kasarabe were adept at manipulating their environment to support crop cultivation. This changes the previous belief that the Amazon's poor soil quality made it unsuitable for large-scale agriculture. Moreover, the construction of monumental mounds and pyramids in the annually flooded savanna of the Bolivian Amazon reveals a society capable of large-scale environmental modification. The labor and resources required for such endeavors speak to a well-organized community with a clear social hierarchy. The scale and complexity of the Kasarabe civilization's urban and agricultural infrastructure compare favorably with those of Andean cultures, known for their architectural and engineering prowess. The ability of the Kasarabe to build and sustain such a society in the challenging environment of the Amazon further challenges our understanding of ancient civilizations and their capacity for innovation and adaptation. In other words, the exploration of ancient civilizations like the Kasarabe opens up a fascinating chapter in the story of humanity, one that is continuously being written as new discoveries come to light. It invites us to reconsider our assumptions about the past. As this journey of discovery continues, the insights gleaned from the Kasarabi civilization and others like it will undoubtedly continue to inspire curiosity and awe, reminding us of the enduring legacy of human creativity and adaptability. Similar to the Amazon, nestled high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, there exists a place of unparalleled beauty and historical significance, a place that has captured the imagination of adventurers, archaeologists, and dreamers alike. Machu Picchu, often referred to as the lost city of the Incas, is a wonder of ancient engineering, a testament to human ingenuity, and a place of rich cultural heritage. The tale of Machu Picchu's discovery is a story of sheer serendipity and adventure. In the early 20th century, American historian and explorer Hiram Bingham set out on a quest to find the lost city of Vilcabamba, the final stronghold of the Inca Empire, which had eluded explorers for centuries. Bingham, a Yale University professor, arrived in Cusco, Peru, in 1911, with a team of explorers and local guides. Their mission was to search for the lost city and document Inca history. Armed with little more than vague references from Spanish colonial records, they embarked on an arduous journey into the rugged Andes. After months of exploration, they encountered a local farmer named Melchor Arteaga, who, as fate would have it, led them to the hidden ruins. On July 24, 1911, Hiram Bingham and his team stood before the overgrown, vine-covered remains of an ancient Inca city, Machu Picchu. The world was about to witness the unveiling of one of the greatest archaeological treasures in history. Bingham's discovery of Machu Picchu electrified the world. The site's pristine condition, its breathtaking location perched high in the mountains, and its enigmatic history captured the imagination of people across the globe. The photographs and accounts of the expedition that followed were published in National Geographic, further fueling public fascination with this remote Inca citadel. The exact moment of discovery was a mixture of excitement and bewilderment. Bingham, gazing at the sprawling ruins, famously uttered, "It fairly took my breath away." This serendipitous encounter opened a window into the past and rewrote the history books, dispelling myths and shedding light on the remarkable achievements of the Inca civilization. Bingham's expeditions to Machu Picchu continued, leading to the removal of numerous artifacts and the documentation of the site's architecture and history. Some of these artifacts, including pottery and textiles, are now housed in museums around the world. However, the removal of artifacts has also been a subject of controversy and debate. Peru has long sought the return of these treasures, emphasizing their cultural and historical significance to the nation. Despite the controversies, there is no denying that Hiram Bingham's discovery forever altered our understanding of the Inca Empire and provided an extraordinary opportunity to unravel the mysteries of Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is not just a random archaeological site. It is a relic of the Inca civilization, a people known for their advanced knowledge in architecture, agriculture, and astronomy. The site's construction defies logic. Enormous stones, some weighing over 50 tons, were transported and meticulously carved to fit together without the use of mortar. The precision of Inca stonework remains an enigma to modern engineers and architects. As you explore Machu Picchu, you'll be astounded by its architectural wonders. The Temple of the Sun, for instance, aligns perfectly with the solstices, highlighting the Incas' profound understanding of celestial movements. Terraced fields, engineered for optimal agricultural productivity, cascade down the steep slopes, a testament to their sustainable farming practices. One of the most intriguing aspects of Machu Picchu is its purpose. While it's widely believed to have served as a royal estate or ceremonial center for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, the exact reason for its construction remains a subject of scholarly debate. Some speculate it was a spiritual retreat, while others argue it had astronomical or agricultural significance. Situated at an awe-inspiring altitude of approximately 2,130 meters above sea level, Machu Picchu is perched on the edge of a dramatic precipice, offering breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding Andes Mountains. Its location adds an extra layer of mystique and adventure to the experience of visiting. As you explore the ancient ruins, you may encounter llamas and alpacas casually grazing amidst the stone structures. These gentle creatures, once used by the Incas for transportation and wool, add a touch of authenticity to the experience. And don't forget to seek out the Fountain of Youth, a spring-fed fountain with local legends, suggesting that its waters possess rejuvenating powers. Machu Picchu's cultural and historical significance led to its designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983. In addition to its breathtaking beauty and historical importance, its preservation is crucial. Visitors are encouraged to respect the site's fragility and adhere to strict guidelines to ensure its long-term protection. Machu Picchu is more than just a destination. It's an enigma, a masterpiece of ancient engineering, and a place that beckons explorers and dreamers to uncover its secrets. It's a testament to the incredible achievements of the Inca civilization and a reminder of the mysteries that still await our discovery. Next, let's shift the attention to Guatemala's crown jewel, Tikal. This lost city is perhaps the greatest of all the Mayan city-states. Its magnificent 6 temples still dominate the landscape, much as they did 1,000 years ago. Like many Maya centers of the southern lowlands, Tikal was first occupied as a small village in the Middle Formative period. Subsequently, in the Late Formative period, it became an important ceremonial center with the construction of major pyramids and temples. However, its heyday came in the Late Classic period, with the planning and construction of its great plazas, pyramids, and palaces, the appearance of Maya hieroglyphic writing and complex systems of time counting, and the flowering of Maya art as seen in monumental sculpture and vase painting. The numerous dedicatory stelae at the site date from the 3rd century CE until the close of the 9th century. Such stelae, usually bearing the carved features of a priest or other important person, are inscribed with hieroglyphs and dates. In the early Classic period, Tikal was an important post in the great trading network that the contemporaneous central Mexican city of Teotihuacan had established in southern Mesoamerica. Tikal continued to flourish after the decline of Teotihuacan and probably extended its hegemony over a large part of the southern lowlands in the late Classic period. Between 600 and 800, Tikal reached its architectural and artistic peak, after which a decline set in, with depopulation and a general artistic deterioration. The last dated stela at the site is placed at 889. Small groups continued to live at the site for another century or so, but Tikal, along with the other Maya centers of the southern lowlands, was abandoned by the 10th century. Of all the world's lost cities, none surely can compete for evocative splendor, age, or mystery with Babylon. Here on the desert plains 60 miles south of Baghdad, where the sun turns horizons into flashing pools of mercury, is where so much human history began. Land of the Fertile Crescent, bounded by the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this is successively the realm of Sumer and Akkad, Assyria, Babylonia, Mesopotamia, and Iraq. Adam and Eve's Garden of Eden is said to have been nearby. If Mesopotamia is the cradle of urban civilization, Babylon is its firstborn child. First mentioned in the 23rd century BC, it looms larger in the records from around 1792 BC, the beginning of the reign of Hammurabi. Babylon's second most famous king is remembered for his uncompromising code of laws, many ending with the ominous phrase, "He shall be put to death," which sit today in the Louvre on an 8-foot stela of carved black diorite. Hammurabi was the first to fashion Babylon into the capital of a kingdom encompassing southern Mesopotamia and part of Assyria in northern Iraq. But the Babylon that elicits a thrill in anyone with a passing interest in history is the city of that Old Testament anti-hero, the Jew-slaying, temple-smashing, gold-loving despot Nebuchadnezzar II, who succeeded to the throne in 605 BC. Flush from a whirlwind of military conquest in Egypt and Syria, Nebuchadnezzar plunged into a monumental building program which resulted in the largest, most glorious city of the ancient world. It was a dazzling urban vista of towering temples, shrines, and palaces clad in blue-glazed tiles, resplendent in gold, silver, and bronze, all encircled by city walls so massive that 2 chariots, each drawn by 4 horses, could pass each other with ease on the road that ran atop them, according to the Greek geographer Strabo. Nebuchadnezzar's imperial frenzy of construction also produced the city's most celebrated monument. A construction so hubristic in ambition, it became the most famous building in the world, a byword for mankind's God-rivaling arrogance. Babylonians knew it as the 91-meter tower, or ziggurat, of Etemenanki, on the top of the Temple of Marduk, the house of the frontier between heaven and earth. The rest of the world, starting with Old Testament readers, knew it as the Tower of Babel. In the words of its royal inscription, as to Etemenanki, the ziggurat of Babylon, of which Nabopolassar, king of Babylon, my father, my begetter, had fixed the foundation, and had raised it 30 cubits, but had not erected its top, I set my hand to build it. Great cedars, which were on Mount Lebanon in its forest, with my clean hands, I cut down and placed them for its roof. What we know about Babylon comes from a combination of classical scholars, Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian of the 5th century BC, foremost among them, archaeological excavations, and the evidence of cuneiform texts. Herodotus provides one of the earliest and most detailed descriptions of Babylon. In his 1-volume masterpiece, The Histories, he devotes 10 pages to the city, a typically Herodotian blend of fact, probable fantasy, and a dollop of sex to keep his audience interested. Babylon lies in a wide plain, a vast city in the form of a square, with sides nearly 14 miles long and a circuit of some 56 miles. And in addition to its enormous size, it surpasses in splendor any city of the known world. It is surrounded by a broad, deep moat full of water, and within the moat, there is a wall 50 royal cubits wide and 200 high. Herodotus also provides a graphic description of the Temple of Marduk, the dominant feature of the city on what was then the east bank of the Euphrates. The temple is a square building, 2 furlongs in each way with bronze gates, and was still in existence in my time. It has a solid central tower, 1 furlong square with a second erected on top of it and then a third, and so on up to 8. All 8 towers can be climbed by a spiral way running round the outside, and about halfway up there are seats and a shelter for those who make the ascent to rest on. On the summit of the topmost tower stands a great temple. There were a number of smaller temples in this eastern, older section of the city, together with quays for merchant ships, an indicator of Babylon's rise to fabulous prosperity through conquest and trade. Within a neat grid of streets, the central and most important artery was the processional way, a paved road running north through the Ishtar Gate, embellished with bulls and dragons in relief, to the Bit Akitu Temple, the house of the New Year's festival. 2 great palace complexes rambled across 40 acres of land to the west of the Ishtar Gate, one of Babylon's 8 fortified defenses. Nebuchadnezzar's boastful inscriptions on baked bricks, which followed the tradition of Babylonian kings relating their architectural rather than military achievements, offer valuable clues about the city. In 597 BC, Nebuchadnezzar attacked and seized Jerusalem. The Book of Kings describes how he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land. It takes little imagination to see his prisoners pressed into forced labor on his megalomaniac construction projects. When he was not having enormous gold images of idols set up for popular worship on pain of death by incineration, the Babylonian king was embellishing his capital with the most opulent buildings. Mysteriously, Herodotus makes no mention of the Hanging Gardens, one of the ancient seven wonders of the world. Diodorus the Sicilian, the 1st century BC Greek historian, said the world's most famous water feature was born of one man's love for a woman. There was likewise a hanging garden near the citadel, not built by Semiramis, but by a later prince called Cyrus for the sake of a courtesan, who, being a Persian, they say, by birth and coveting meadows on mountain tops, desired the king by an artificial plantation to imitate the land in Persia. Other accounts suggest that these lush, gravity-defying terraced gardens were a gift from Nebuchadnezzar to his wife Amaitis. Some archaeologists believe they never really existed on the epic scale suggested by legend. Herodotus writes about all aspects of life in Babylon, covering everything from its general geography, the tradition of brick baking, the construction of the outer wall, and the street plan of the city, to the main crops grown: wheat, barley, millet, sesame, and dates, the various uses of the palm tree, food, wine, and honey, religious, medical, and sexual practices, and the types of boats used to navigate the Euphrates. He describes how the formidable city walls were built of oven-baked mud bricks, laid using hot bitumen for mortar, traces of which can be spotted today where the ancient walls meet the bricks laid in the kitsch, Saddam-era restoration of the 1980s. One of his tallest stories centers on what he calls the wholly shameful practice by which every Babylonian woman, rich and poor alike, is forced to sit outside the temple of Ishtar until a man throws a silver coin into her lap for the right to have sex with her. Only after she has discharged this unpleasant duty is she set free. Herodotus ends the anecdote with a characteristically high-spirited punchline. Tall, handsome women soon manage to get home again, but the ugly ones stay a long time. Some of them, indeed, as much as 3 or 4 years. The story of Babylon is the ebb and flow of slaughter and mercy, war and peace, a microcosm of human history. It is a tale of greed, hubris, empire, and religious persecution, also of human civilization, prodigious wealth, architectural glory, and religious tolerance. It encapsulates humankind's finest and most deplorable traits, and burst onto the world's media during the Iraq War precisely because Babylon is the source of our history. The birth of human civilization belongs to us all. After all, as we continue to explore the remnants of ancient societies, the integration of technology in archaeological research promises to unveil further mysteries of the human past. The rediscovery of these lost cities not only offers new insights into our ancestors' ingenuity and resourcefulness, but also highlights the importance of preserving these fragile ecosystems for future generations. We still know very little, other than the gross structure of some of these cities. Until field archaeology digs down into the ancient strata, we can only catch a glimpse of these ancient cultures. That's all the information that we have for you today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss out on future episodes. And be sure to also tell us what you think about today's content. Everyone's support motivates us to continue delivering quality content and to always improve. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.